Hi, Pre-K. As you know, this week is Holy Week, and it's one of the most special weeks in the church year. We've come now to the end of Lent, and Holy Week just has a bunch of special days in there that we want to talk about each day. So I thought I would do some children's Stations of the Cross with you. And Stations of the Cross are it's a 14-step little activity, and it sort of takes us through that last week when Jesus was on the earth. And so I'm doing a one for children, and so I'm going to do the first two today, and then we'll do two or so a day till we get to the end, okay? So this very first station, and I colored it for you. I found my crayons and I made it a little bit fancy for you. The first station in the Children's Station of the Cross is called Jesus is in the Garden of Gethsemane. So what's happening here is that Jesus knows that on Good Friday, which is this coming Friday, that he is going to be put to death. He knows that this is going to happen. And you can imagine how scared and frightened you would be if you knew this was coming. And so this says, Jesus went to a place called Gethsemane. He said to his friends, "Sit here while I go and pray," feeling very heartbroken. He took Peter, James, and John apart and said, "My soul is so sorrowful," because he was so scared, right? "Stay here and keep watch with me." Then he went a little ways and fell on his knees praying, "My Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me." So he's actually asking God, his Father, to not have this happen. He's really, really scared because even though Jesus is God, he's still human, and he's scared just like you and I are scared of things. So he's very scared. When he returned to his disciples, he found them asleep. He said to Peter, "So you could not stay watch with me for 1 hour? Watch and pray that you may not be tempted. The spirit is willing, but the flesh is weak." And so Jesus is really frustrated and he's scared beyond belief. And so he was disappointed that his friends all fell asleep while he asked them to pray with him. And so this is the very first station, and you can sense the fear that Jesus has, but we all know that he overcame his fear, and he actually did do what God the Father asked of him. So the next station is called Jesus is betrayed. It's a big fancy Nancy word, isn't it? Betrayed by Judas and is arrested. Betrayed means when you think someone is your friend and they're behind your back not being your friend. That's what betrayed means. So Judas was one of the apostles, but he was scared too, and so he made a really bad choice. So let's read this station together. It says, "While Jesus was speaking, Judas, one of the 12 apostles, came accompanied by a group of soldiers from the temple with swords and clubs. Judas had told the soldiers, 'The man that I kiss is the one.'" So Judas was siding with the soldiers because he was scared he was going to be in trouble too. So he kind of went on their side for a while, and he brought the soldiers with him, and he said, "The one that I'm going to kiss is the one that you want to arrest," because he's the one that is saying that he is God's son, which we all know he is now. But in those days, if you said something like that, if you said, "I'm God's son" or God's daughter, you'd get in big trouble, because the high priest at that time didn't think that it was possible to have a person on earth be God's son, but we all know that that's true now. So it says, "So Judas came and right away went to Jesus and said, 'Teacher,' and he kissed him. When this happened, the soldiers grabbed Jesus and arrested him." And that's when they took Jesus away. The soldiers are over here, and they have their swords and their clubs. That's my little puppy. And they took Jesus, and this was the beginning of him being crucified. So I'll read a couple more for you tomorrow, and we'll, all the way through the week, we'll read a few more each day, and we'll follow the path of Jesus, actually, as how he did it on the real, or the first Holy Week, okay? If you have any questions, ask your mommy and daddy. I know they can help you understand it. I know it's a little bit hard, but I feel that it's important for us to follow Jesus and really be close to him this week and follow the story the way his story went. Okay, so I'll see you again later. Thank you, boys and girls.